This is
the Abyssinians.
The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is
the lion's voice.
They had no fear at all. It was God, it was God, let it be praised. It was God, let it be praised.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it's Exodus. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the Lion's Voice.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the Lion's Voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the Lion's Voice, Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the Lion Voice, because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here, hear me now. Yeah, the Lion's Voice. Raw.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice. Them could never conquer the mountains. Thousands of years and counting. Ethiopia rise again unto the world. Now we are announcing. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. Well, for unto us a son was born and a child was given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called the Wonderful Counselor, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Them call him Lidj Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from sky. Them call him Lidj Tafari. When he was grown, in airplanes he fly. They call him Lidj Tafari. Iron break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Them call him Lidj Tafari, read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Then, born near the city of Harar, the inspiration from Bob Marley's guitar. People crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England or Cote d'Ivoire, no matter if you're brown or black like Qatar. Haile Selassie say fi end all tribal war. A time fi gather Mount Zion, fi drive solar car from the car straight to Zanzibar. Who we are? The sons of Lidj Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Lidj Tafari, when he was grown in airplanes he fly. Then Lidj Tafari, the lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Then Lidj Tafari, we do everything.
iRoots Records, an online shop for reggae and dub vinyl, CDs and Rastafari books. Rastafari owned and operated for over 15 years. We ship worldwide. We have many titles from Frontline Publications in stock. We have 50 plus Akabeka Midnight titles, which we believe is the most of any shop in the world. Special invite for the Lion Pride. Use code Lion's Voice and save 10% store-wide. If you spend $125 or more, the discount goes up to 15%. Visit us online at www.irootsrecords.com. The time has come.
321 Productions and RBG Alliance presents the 3rd annual Conscious Reggae Concert Family Unity Fest, featuring the Abyssinians, Aisha Bell, Mary Isaacs, Ragalux, I Brave, and many more at the Jammings in New Kingston. 2,500 pre-sold, 3,000 at the door. Children under 12 for free. Don't miss the Abyssinians live in Kingston, Jamaica. Can't be missed. History.
In the haunting echoes of violence against women in St. Anne, Jamaica, a mysterious vigilante emerges. For the Woman Painted Purple unfurls a gripping narrative of empowerment, retribution, and the pursuit of justice. Brenda and her group of sisters bond together in therapy over their common struggles, but soon their group becomes the subject of an investigation. As the vigilante's actions escalate, the relentless detective, Officer Woodley, races to unmask the mystifying figure. For the Woman Painted Purple is a pulse-pounding tale that explores the boundaries of justice, revenge, and the fighting spirit. This thrilling saga delves into the complexities of dealing with mental health, domestic abuse, and finding love after. Own your copy today. Visit www.devanigreen.com.
This is The Black Heart Man, Rastafari children's picture book, with hand-painted illustrations and rhythmic storytelling. This is a journey you do not want to miss. We offer worldwide shipping, so order your copy today at www.thegriospaintbrush.com. Alternatively, you can order your copy from TikTok. If you are interested in stocking the book, please email us at thegriospaintbrush@gmail.com. Give thanks.
Jamaica to Toronto. The Rastafest movement rises again. This August 15 and 16, Rastafest 2026 returns to Little Jamaica in Toronto with reggae music, Rastafari culture, Ital food, arts, reasoning, and unity. But this year, it's more than a festival. Rastafest is partnering with the Rastafari Mansions and organizations to support the Relief, Rebuild, Rise initiative, helping Rastafari families and communities rebuild, resist the risk of disasters, and to rise to their true potential. This is culture with a cause. Full joy the music, support the mission. Donate to the Relief, Rebuild, Rise GoFundMe through the link in the RMO Jamaica Instagram profile. Rastafari.
Save the date. Join us on Sunday, August 9th, 2026 at 5 p.m. for the 25th annual fundraiser for the Shashamane Foundation at the Silver Spring Civic Center, Great Buffalo Hall in Silver Spring, Maryland. Come be a part of an evening that helps transform lives by supporting quality education and sustainable development at the JRDC School in Shashamane, Ethiopia. Your presence and generosity help empower children, strengthen communities, and build a brighter future. Can't attend? You can still make a difference by donating at shashamani.org or by scanning the event QR code. Mark your calendar, bring your family and friends, and let's build a lasting legacy together. We'll see you there. Rastafari TV and Site Media are proud sponsors of the Shashamani Foundation.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmanch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm a creative industry attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk Rise. You notice I said rise and not live because we're early morning thing on the East Coast. Welcome to the Lion Voice Network. This is where the Lions are telling our own story, and this morning is history. So if you're watching live, big up yourself. I already see some of the Lion Pride in the live section. The item are here early to witness a history for the channel. We are reasoning for the first time with the Rastafari community in Uganda. So we're going to the whole of mountains of Uganda. And Uganda, for those who are not aware, is one of the sources of the Nile River. The White Nile emanates from Uganda. Uganda is as close to heaven and earth as you're gonna find, you know what I mean, in terms of the climate. When the Europeans went to Uganda, that's how they describe it, you know what I mean? They couldn't believe that this is a real place. So Uganda is very important to I&I lush agricultural region, you know what I mean? So we're gonna hear from the brethren them what's happening. Of course, the land of Idi Amin. His Majesty visited Uganda during that time. So, you know what I mean, we're gonna talk about how these brethren found Rastafari, all of that this morning. But the main thing is that the brethren them are having a conference, and I love to hear that this is the organizing and centralizing. They're having a conference to set their agenda as a community. They've just recently registered an organization. So we are also going to be helping them now as Lion Voice to connect with the global family for their fundraising initiatives and everything. They're not ready yet, but when they're ready. So this is one of the things that we're doing with this platform, is connecting all of the dots. Internationally, we can help ourselves locally, wherever we are. You know, they say act locally, think internationally, or think globally. That's what's happening now. And we do give thanks that the technology, you know what I mean, with this internet technology, we're able now to go over land and sea and connect the dots. So that's what's happening here. We're making history. Big up everyone. We just hit 78,000 subscribers in the Lion Pride. We're at 105,000 views average for the month. We, for the first time in the channel history, hit over 5,000 watch hours. That means over 5,000 hours of people sitting down watching the content on the platform. That's a first for us on the Lion Voice Network. So the movement is growing, it's expanding, the item are responding, and we give thanks again. If you're watching live, I'm bigging up the greatest online comment section on the planet Earth. Big up all of the item, all of the love that the item continue to give and show to I and I. Big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. I'm working on the newsletter, trying to get the newsletter out by His Majesty Earthstrong prayerfully. And, we're looking forward for that. So big up the Lion Pride on Patreon, the monthly subscribers. It still kind of make me feel away and hurt my heart a little bit, just a little bit, that we only have 53 monthly subscribers out of 78,000 overall subscribers. You know what I mean? Just a little bit, but Iman is a mature adult, and we are just looking for the like minds who, if you find value in what we're doing, make sure you become a monthly subscriber. $5, $10, $25, whatever you can afford. We got to fund our liberation, and key to that liberation is Rastafari independent non-aligned media. If you think otherwise, we are fooling ourselves. So Haile Selassie, I rise I and I up to do this work. It's not easy work. The IDMC, I'm up at 6 a.m. in Uganda, and I have to go to work after this. So the IDMC, that the commitment is there. You know what I mean? We're not ramp with the thing. We would love to be able to do this full time, hire a staff, have a full budget for a media production house, so that we can bring, the fullness of content to the IDEM. And YouTube is just the beginning for I and I. We will be coming off of these platforms. I mean, we'll maintain a presence, but we will be migrating to platforms that are fully Rastafari, African people owned, as we build out this media network. So if you're not subscribed to the Patreon, make sure you, even as a free member, you can go to Patreon and become a free member. So I have the item email, so we have that direct link to each other. You know what I mean? That is to I more important. YouTube can kick Iman off anytime, and I don't have any of the information. So make sure, if you love the movement, you consider yourself a Lion Pride, that you join the Patreon, so that we can have that direct link with each other. Big up the elder Shabaka Asidi in the comments. Blessing to the royal Queen Mother, Empress Ima, Empress Queen Mother Moses, Ras Roots, all of the ones them who are here from early. 6 a.m. rise on the East Coast, 1 p.m. in Uganda. We are here. All right. Housekeeping out of the way. Before I bring forward the guests, let me just say, we are going hard for the end of Lidj Tafari Month. This channel is going hard. We have a lot of pop-up episodes, a lot of content coming Wednesday. We're going to be going live before we go to Naya Bingi Isis. We're going live on Saturday and Sunday as well. We have our town hall meeting. Then Monday, we're going live. I'm going to release a schedule of all of the episodes, all of the vibes that we have going on. It's going to be massive. It's going to be massive. And it's 5 a.m. in some places. So just to show the item how serious we are as the Lion Pride. All right. Big up Frontline Books, Reading Ras on the Frontline coming this Saturday. We will be with the legendary Sekou Tafari once again. All right. So we're going to bring forward our guests. Give thanks to everyone I see, brethren them ready. Through the powers of the King, we want to just take time to welcome these brethren who are helping to put forward the work in the mighty Uganda. Help I and I to welcome Ras, Niger, and also Aile,
Greetings.
Kaya.
Yes, sir.
Blessing.
Awesome,
I'm not seeing the Iras Kaya. Aile, there we go. Give thanks and Isis. Ras Naya, can you turn your phone like this?
Like, Like
Yes,
that?
yes. And then you might have to put it on auto rotate. If
Oh,
you
okay.
if you wipe down your phone at the top, yeah, put it on auto rotate so we get the full frame if we can. If not, don't worry, we'll work with it. See it there? The item
Is
are
that
beside each
Is that
other
right?
yes, I.
Yes, I.
because you might have to spread because we're getting a little echo through the mics. So one person might have to go a little further. Oh, yeah. I love the settings though. It look well nice. It make me want to come to Uganda. I tell you, I
Yes, I.
love the settings. Beautiful. Or East Africa. All right. So we're going to start by, this is the item first time. This is a history for the channel. I'm going to start by allowing the item to introduce the item self. I'm going to start with the Raskaya. Just introduce thyself to the global family and where the I born, where you forward from, and just give us quickly, your journey to Rastafari as a born and raised Rastafari in Uganda.
Yes, I greet you all, family, globally, locally, and globally, in the name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First. Yes, I greet you in the name of all ancestors. I greet you and I give you all respect to the all ancestors who have been here before us. My name is Kaya Sana Mwakalobo. Yes, I was not born in Uganda, but now living in Uganda. Was born in Tanzania.
Okay.
Just a neighbor country, but still it's the same region, East African region. So trod to Uganda 2002 as a Rastaman, But had to carry on some studies here, and that's why find myself in Uganda. But always, Uganda has always been a mystical place for me because I've always been fascinated with the story of Nyaya Binji, because Nyaya Binji, it is through this region of East Africa.
Okay.
When you talk about Chigezi, it's not one country, It's not Uganda, it's not Rwanda, it's not Tanzania. There was a Kagera kind of kingdom which was ruling by that time. So I've always wanted to come to Uganda. And yes, I just guided. I've been here. I've trodden in Uganda for all the time. I'm still living in Uganda. And I give thanks. Yes, I
Give thanks. So did they sight up Rastafari in Uganda or in Tanzania?
No, in Tanzania. I'm on
Okay.
road to Uganda when I'm on holiday last time.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
the story of Rasta for me, it's more from family background,
Okay.
So my old man, he was a Rasta, even though not having locks, but he was really, because most of the things I have been exposed to since I was young, I see it was really a last leave it in terms of what you should eat, how to treat people, and also about the African, the power of being African and the proud of being African and not being ashamed of being African. So my old man had a lot of books of Malcolm X, books of Marcus Garvey, books Rasta and resistance, and how Europe underdeveloped Africa, all them information shaped the eye to who I am right now. And yes, I have my old brother who now him rest now, but he was a first Rasta in our family. So I'm always looking forward for my brother, and I'm now trotting the liberty.
Give thanks. I'm still hearing a little bit of echo. So what we have to do is when the other person is talking, they have to mute your laptop. You have to
The
press mute.
microphone.
You have to
Mute the
turn down the volume. I'm gonna come to the idol Rasnaya, but when we are reasoning, you're gonna have to turn down the volume, whoever's not talking, so I don't hear the echo.
That good.
Because the sound is coming through the speaker, we're hearing a little echo. But we love the vibes. We are here. If you're watching live, we are here in Uganda. You know, this is where the term Kabaka comes from as well. Nyabingi come from Uganda. Uganda is a serious place to I and I as a part of East Africa. And we're going to find out more about what's happening in Uganda. So do I understand, Raskaya, when one person is speaking, if the item are going to be close, the other person has to turn down their volume so that the speaker is not coming
Yes,
back
sir.
through. We're not getting that feedback through the speaker. So we're gonna come to Ras
The
Niger.
feedback.
Yeah, and
Yes,
I
sir.
wanna big up the Chasmatch George, you know, I legal colleague who has
Yes,
been
sir.
traveling to Uganda and really opening up this channel of communication. We do give thanks for that. It's really a joy for I and I to make this link with our family. You know what I mean? While Ras Niger gets set up, you set up. You ready? If you're ready, unmute yourself. I think I might have muted the eye.
And
All right, talk. Let
can
me
you
hear.
greetings, greetings,
Yes,
my
I.
lord.
Yes, I.
Hail my him imperial majesty emperor Selassie the first Jehovah Jah Rastafari. The humble servant Ras Niger. Born and raised in Uganda. Both parents are Ugandan, and it's a blessing to be in the service of Him Imperial Majesty's Council with all the African royalty that we share worldwide. And it's an honor to be on the Lion Voice radio. Give thanks, my Lord.
Give thanks for the eye. So let's hear the eye story. Born in Uganda. What part of Uganda was the eye? Is the eye from Kampala? What was the eye uprising? And how did the eye find Rastafari?
Yes, I was born in Kampala. So my parents are from Masaka, which is our ancestral home. And that is where the fatherhood rests, up in Masaka. It's called Chamaganda. And that's where my entire fatherhood hails from. Um, I was born, I was born like everyone else, innocent. And how I got to find Rastafari was from my neighborhood, where there was um, bunch of elders. I wouldn't say they were really that older than I was, but from where they served to make ends meet, they used to wash trucks and cars, and they were washing cars and trucks. So the herb, it was the meditation. I was drawn to it at a very early age, and right around the age of probably 13 or 14, I was already trying to know more about the meditation, and that drew me uh, into trying to understand Rastafari. Um, the journey took I a few places. I was able to visit India, traveled there for about 4 years, and in there. path on getting to know what a Rasta is, I was able to connect African traditional spirituality
Okay.
with every other form of um, um, denomination that is out in the universe that is named as religion. So eventually, I reached the US and
Okay.
I met stronger elders in the US, and that is where I met I Bobo priest, Prophet Ginger from
Okay.
Bull Bay, Jamaica, and I
Yes. Yes.
trod with the priest for 3 years. And at the end of the 3 years, him uh, presented I and I with the turban and crown I as a Bobo Shan.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Mightyful.
Thanks, my lord.
Is there a large Rastafari community in Uganda?
Yes, for sure there is. Um, Naturally, in that practicing ones, yes, there is. So as we all know, universally all nature is Rasta.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so if we was to identify ones that are really living and trotting the way, there is a big sizable population of Rasta in Uganda.
You think over 1,000 Rastafari in Uganda?
Oh, more than 1,000. It could easily a million Rasta in Uganda. Yes, my lord. For how we still have it over here in Africa is that institutionally um, our naturality is still being stifled
Yes.
in representing our identity.
Yes.
By that, I speak of growing our naturals, the locks, and having your beard on. It will be harder for you to go to school if you were that way. It will be harder for you to get them blue collar jobs, if you have your locks. So for the most part, most people that initially would have had their identity as a Rasta turn out uh, shaven for those kind of reasons.
Okay. Okay. Because of livelihood.
Right,
So
and how the the constitutionalization of such laws that never allow for the African to wear their identity and express it as really as they would have.
so that's gonna be part of our reasoning that we need to create an economy. We need to have that economic focus that we can ensure that ones who are treading Rastafari don't have to depend on the system, to feed their families. So that is one thing we're gonna talk about with this coming Chad. I'm not seeing. There was another elder that was supposed to join us. Can you get Raskaya to check on him while we continue? Or Raskaya, if
Yes,
there I can hear I
yes,
check on
Majesty.
the next elder so we can have the Trinity if possible. But if you're watching live, family, we are making history here on the Lion Voice Network. Early morning sip. We are live in the item are in Kampala right now.
Yes, Majesty.
Yes, we are live in Kampala from Kingston to Kampala. That is how Lion Voice a move right now in the Armageddon struggle. So we give thanks for those watching live. As we are speaking, war around the earth. The nations prepare for war. I and I prepare to meet I and I Almighty I in a Mount Zion and to build that islandful city, that islandful rest. You know what I mean? So um, Ras Niger and Ras Kaya, I want to first just allow the item an opportunity. I'm going to come forward to the IRAS Kaya to let us know how the I link with the brethren them in Uganda, and you know what is the vibration right now with Rastafari in Uganda.
Yes, I. So, yeah, man. The journey of Rastafari in Uganda, what I can say, it's now we are revamping it, you know, because Iman came to Uganda when I already found the family and the foundation already. By that time, it was called, I forgot the name, but then we made sure we were registering because by that time it was not registered. So Iman gave a lot of my effort along with another elder called Las Bob or Mutebi Moa, yeah, into pushing about the registering the organization. And that was the first now, which was called the Uganda Rastafarian Movement. And the Lily, we were trotting and we had a lot of families. Some of the elders now, we are not together with them, like Jaja Seba Mamba, you know, some quite a number, but we had this plan of having the land because the last time in Uganda, we meet, you know, we gather into a place called the Freedom Square, where the Pan-African movement, you know, in Africa had secured a space. So that's where I and I always meet, especially on Sabbath. But those meetings, there's a time when it stopped, you know, and now through this existence now of the technology and the smartphones, we have realized we can connect back. So now we've been connecting back the family, and the response is really good. You know, the response is really good, but we need to re-register it with the Uganda registration, Uganda regulatory, something with it is the body which deal with the regulating registration.
Yes, yes.
It's a new body, and now we are into registering it. And really and truly, what it brought us together still, from the time I came, it is still the land, you know, because I and I don't have the land where you can say, like, this is the last land in Uganda.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
You have ones and ones who have their individual land, and yes, of course, sometimes they offer the land, like, yeah, we can come and gather, we can play a bingi, we can chant, we can do the meeting and gatherings and reasonings, but still, it's not as a Rasta land, you know. So we really now emphasizing about how we can attain the land, because if I can tell you with the history of Rasta has been politicized too. You know, I think in Jamaica, the same thing has happened. So Rasta platforms have been used by politicians sometimes when it comes to the campaigns, we see them. So they come to the Rastas because they see the number. We have the number. And they give the T-shirts, and then everybody promise, like, yes, Rastas, we are going to help you out. I'm going to make sure you get the land, and all of these promises, but which have never really come to mature or to manifest. So into our reasoning, we were like, no, we cannot really rely on the politicians because they are using us, you know. But I and I can come together, you know, and put the liquor money we have, you know, and then if there's well-wishers can contribute, and then we can attain the land with the names and the ownership of the Ras Tafari of Uganda, No, without no mix of political ingredients like, yes, I gave you the land, so you really need abide with what I want you to do as a group. So now we are a bit very careful, and that's why we have organized this conference for I and I to come together and to really awaken up this spirit of we need to come together. We need, and we into attaining the land. What is the steps? So the first steps, we need to have a secretariat, because by that time we had a group of elders who were handling the land issue, and I was one of them.
Okay.
But most of the elders have passed on. So I man see the need now to create the new committee, the new council, which are going to deal with the land and which are going to make sure we attain the land. So, speak to cut it short, that is the current now
No, we love
situation.
it. We're gonna talk some more.
Yeah, man,
I want to show an image to the Iron Ras Niger before we start, and I see. Let me see. Can the eye see the image?
Yes, I.
Okay, sir.
So this is a concept that we are talking about, where we have a template for a Rastafari eco village kind of vibration. Because we're saying that right now the biggest thing that we need to focus on is food and water. You know what I mean? So any community, any development I do as Rastafari should be based around food production. Establishing an ITAL standard. So I'm going to come to we're going to talk about this later, but I wanted to show the item, just a vision when you talk about land. Ras Niger, we kind of rush. Give us some history about Uganda. Where is Uganda? What is Uganda? For those, this is our first time. We're making history this morning. This is our first time talking to anyone from Uganda. Talk to us about the history of Uganda. Where is Uganda? How did Uganda become a nation state? Go deep into the history for us.
Give thanks, my lord. Uganda is a nation made up of very many tribes and kingdoms. We have over, I should say, about 14 major kingdoms, and we also have chieftains. We have various tribes, which include the Baganda, from which the name of the nation is from, the Banyoro, the Batoro, there's the Bachiga. Then up in the north, you have the Bacholi, you have the Langi, and others. You go up towards the east, you have the Basoga, you have the Bagisu, and when you come to the south, where we have the islands, which is where Lake Nalubale, of which now was given the colonial name of Elizabeth, Victoria, is you'll find other tribes that inhabit those islands. Initially, the kingdoms dwelt on what they call Sese Islands. This is a major collection of islands that is found within the lake Nalubale, and the word Nalubale means the fountain well of the spirit. So, where the island sits right now was where the spirits dwell, because they were lake kingdoms initially. These kingdoms were based on the lake before they came onto the mainland. So on the mainland, there did exist indigenous tribes. As you see it's connected within the scriptures. When you read scriptures, it talk about the 12 tribes, and this is where the concept is from. And the majority of Africa is made up of tribes, and these tribes give us our family heritage, our family tree lines and genealogy, and they go millions and millions of miles of years in the beginning. So how we ended up to be named Uganda was colonialism and slavery. It was during the 1800s when the influence of the Arabs and the British and the Germans and the French had started taking root into the core of the East African region. So at that time, there was the Buganda kingdom had a Kabaka. The word Kabaka is what you'd use as for the title king. Each kingdom has a different name for their royal rulers.
Yes,
For instance,
yes.
in Bunyoro it would be Omukama.
Okay.
In Buganda it's Kabaka. And if we go to Kemit, you still find these titles there. You find the
Okay.
car, you find the bar, you find the car.
Okay.
But yes, my lord. And then so the very first people that brought religion into the region that is now known as Uganda were the Arabs. And the Arabs met the Kabaka at the time, who was Kabaka Mutesa the First. And Kabaka Mutesa the First was positive towards some of the things that they practiced, although the only one thing he could not do was to get circumcised. For no Kabaka or ruler had ever sat upon the throne of the kingdom of Uganda that was circumcised. And it was a must for you to join that rite, that denomination, that you had to do. So when some of the palace officials stopped attending him dinner function, him asks why, and then him find out that because they had already converted to Islam and gone through all those rites, he wasn't clean enough. So him judged them. Over 182 converts were judged by Kabaka Mutesa the First at a place called Namugongo, which is now a Christian pilgrimage site. Though by good nature, we didn't keep that. So anyways, it was him had reached him later years, and him delegated the authority to him son, who was Prince Mwanga Pasamulekere Mukasa II. So at that time when he took over the throne at the age of about 16 years old, Kabaka Mwanga was again approached by the Christians. So, and then some people had already converted here from the region. So the Kabaka told them that was foul to go against an African tradition, to follow something foreign we had never really observed. So he commenced with the second purging of religious converts, who were the Christians, and they were just about 20 something. And that is when Vatican actually assumed their powers from that incident, when the Kabaka at the time, Kabaka Mwanga, judged the Christian converts. So it is what gave Vatican the power to actually spread Christianity to what it is at the present day, for it had almost reached a stalemate when it reached into this region.
Okay.
We had yes. So
you got a rooster salute right there when you said that. The rooster salute the eye.
Yeah, man.
Yes, King. Yes, King. Yeah.
You get a
Ah,
root
glad
just
you
alone.
noticed. Yeah, Rooster is a very powerful bird. It's
Yes.
important for ones and ones to have um, these other beings of nature around. For our tradition teaches that the spiritual powers of creation also dwell within those, and the messages they pass. It's always good to pay attention.
Yes, I definitely, definitely. I mean, that is part of Rastafari, you know. That is something unique, I think, that we
Mhm.
possess, no matter where we domicile. So, what is the I ethnicity in terms of the kingdom? What the I family is from?
Son, give thanks. Anna is a Muganda. I'm from the Buganda kingdom.
Okay,
Um, and I'm from the Mutima clan. The Mutima is a tree that grows at the bottom of freshwater lakes. It
okay,
is said to be found at the center of the universe in the lake bed. So that is my clan. And my a clan means that each one has another piece of nature that they are adhere to, and they are given responsibility to protect and preserve. There's people that have clans from the leopard clan, the lion clan, the elephant clan, and then there's some clans too that are plants. So which
yeah,
means if I belong to, say, they are a fish clan, the langfish, I should never partake in consuming that. If I
okay,
belong to the lion clan, I should never partake in destroying a lion or a lioness or their cubs.
okay,
And I should learn of their ways. And those ways that is what we use to serve the kingdom. So each clan has a duty in the palace of the king. So we have
okay.
52 clans in Buganda. Uh, and the
Serious.
5 plus 2 gives you the 7. So as you can see, the clans are meant to serve the kingdom.
Serious,
So my
serious.
clan are the water bearers. They take care of the rivers, the lakes, and the streams and the spring. And they also uh, it is them that the king would send out to get, say, food from the water body to bring unto the king, or to carry merchandise across the water bodies to carry unto the king.
Serious history. Serious history. Family, we are here live in Kampala with the Uganda family. First time for the Lion Voice Network. We're connecting Rastafari over land and sea. If you're here live, big up yourself. All who watch on the replay, just know that this is the time of the great gathering. International Black repatriation is in motion, and we do give thanks for the item. I want to bring forward this image here. Um, I want to bring forward this image because I showed this to the Rastafari Society of Kenya as well.
Yes, I.
This is something that we want to have these working farms. We want to have the farmers market. If you see the farmers market there,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
people can
Some
come and buy.
solar.
Yes, the wholesale, where people can buy things wholesale. The Ital Cafe and Bakery,
Yeah, man.
so people can come and visit the farm. They can get tours. This is a farm tour in process. So, you have people that come from not only Uganda, but people who are coming from overseas to come and check I. And then in the
Yes.
forward here, you have residential accommodation, apartments, different style of houses. so the people who work the land can live right there on the land. And it's like a little eco village, and then you have your gift shop for your arts and your craft. So when the item get the land, what I'm challenging each region is to come up with a development plan. Every region is going to look different. You know, it might not look like that. You know what I mean? It might look a little bit different.
Yeah.
But every region should be building their community around a farm model, because we're coming into a great time of global crisis with this Gideon war, which, as I tell my audience, that Gideon war is not going to be a short war. This is going to be a long war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we need to be preparing ourselves, and also we have to know that if we can't feed ourselves, everything else don't matter. You know,
Yeah.
if
True
we
that.
can't feed ourselves, anything else does not matter. So we're gonna come forward to that image. I have some other images I want to share, but Raskaya,
Yes, I.
I want the eye to just explain now, in terms of this conference in Uganda, how that concept came about, and you know what's happening around the preparation for this first Rastafari conference in Uganda.
Yes, I can start. Just yeah, man. I would start by just giving thanks to also Elder Lidj's match, you know, last Georges, because him was one of the people who really try to remind us we need to come together if we want to attain some of the goals which we want to attain. And that's why we came with the idea, not myself, but brothers came with the idea of having the conference, you know, and we were supposed to do it this month on the start of July, but this month is the 134 elation of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First on 23rd, which will be on Thursday. So we found it very necessary and very crucial to make a conference on that day, because it is a great day for I, and most of I are aware of the day, and by considering the weight of the day and the weight of what we need to attain, we had to come up with on this day of 23rd. So for now, on the background, we have been lining up about the public speakers who will come and speak. We have our brothers from the Pan-African Movement, Uganda, his name is Newton Balenzi. And then we have another guest speaker from the Kingdom of Buganda, Prince Wasaja, you know, and Niger will talk more about that. And we have also another brother from all the way from Gulu, you know, he's the president of the local 4, I think, in Uganda. Of EWF is called Francis. He has his charity foundation there up north, so he's going also to give a speech. But all of those speeches, they will all circulate around how can we solidify our family in Uganda? How can we make a sustainable levity, you know, as we just showed us the picture, you know, that's why I said we are on the same frequency, because as a Rasta, we see far, we see where most of people can't really see. So where we are going, it's going to be really brutal if you are not prepared, you know, in terms of producing your own food, you know, in terms of securing where your family, you will raise them, because that's all also really matters. The environment you're going to raise the youth, you know. Yes, and all of that relied on us having our own piece of land, you know. And I see this picture, I see completely like this is what the frequency I and I have been trying to work upon, you know. How can we be sustainable? Because now it's to make life which can be sustainable itself. So if we can produce our own food, if we can make our own clothes, if we can trade one another, because that is the most important call Iron Man have been calling for years now, for the continent to trade one another, for the continent we need to trade one another as a continent, because as per now, African continent trade more with the outside continents, like with China, with Europe, with America, than Africa to Africa. So if you check how many businesses are there between Uganda to let's say Senegal, you find very few or nothing. So that is the thing whereby as at the continent, we have to rely on one another. And like now there's this thing, most of African countries are opening up the free entry without no visa to another African nation, which is really positive. But still, I will question the African member state to reduce the landing fee, the aviation landing fee of African aviation companies, because that's what makes it so expensive to buy a ticket. Dada, you know, because yes, so the Rwandese Air Rwanda will say like, no, I have to charge this amount for you to go to Nigeria because the Nigerian government is taxing me a lot of money for each plane which is landing there. You know, so those are the nitty-gritty our government level need to work on, because it's useless if you tell me I can go to Nigeria without no visa, but still I buy the ticket, which is a lot of money, because some places in Africa, like going to Congo, the ticket can take you to Dubai, the amount, you know, but just from Uganda to Congo. So like, no, this is really strategically planned for us, but we didn't plan for us.
Of course.
Yes. So
because they don't want Africans to link up and to move around and to get married to each other and to bring that oneness. They want to keep and separated
into boxes, and like I speak French, you speak English, I am this, you know. It's the time now for African as a continent to stand as one, you know, and it's not impossible. I see that, I feel that, you know.
That was the vision. That was the vision of Kadamawi, Haile Selassie
Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie.
This is another picture, another image of what the model could look like with the land, you know.
Yeah, man.
So you see the farm, the tours that are happening. People are coming from all over Africa, because anywhere Rastafari is going to be an attraction. You know, people are going to want to come and sip up and spend time with I and I. So that is a monetization. That's work for someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then now you have your farm working, you have your solar panels, you have your water catchment system. You know, same thing. You have your farmers market. So farm produce that doesn't go to the cafe, because you have farm to table. People can come and sip up what you're growing on the land every day, a pot, a bubble. Things are happening. You know what I mean? People can come and buy ital, and you have your bakery, and then you have the rest that goes in the farmer's market. And then you have accommodation if ones want to come and stay there and volunteer on the farm. You know, you could be also doing tours with the school children. So I definitely want to reason with the item, because again, we want all of our Rastafari communities in Africa. And you see that the Rasta city in the background there? This is
I see it.
So that is, when we get the money, because we're not
Yes, sir.
just ancient, we're modern
No,
as
we
well.
move.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
moving with the modernity.
yeah.
So I'm coming to the IRAS Niger. Just build on what Ras Kaya said about this conference and the vibration.
Give thanks, my Lord. Um, we thought it wise to hold a conference and have dialogue amongst different Rasta communities within Uganda from all over the world. In that we need dialogue. There are various ones and ones that have ongoing projects that are actually bringing in a return. There are ones that do have projects that are still um, a work plan. And then our nation itself, Uganda, is well endowed with multitude of resources. And just the human resource itself alone, the agriculture, the mineral wealth, the weather, by the fact that we have the equator splitting the nation into two itself is good as a health benefit. As we know, it's always recommended that if you can live along the equator for some time, that actually rejuvenates your human body cells. So I and we as a community in the inspiration of Him Imperial Majesty thought it wise to have this conference and bring members together, not for a reggae show, not for a ITAL festival, just to speak of the objectives of Rastalivity and the various issues affecting the community, which would include points such as, say, our heritage. If one is found in the at the wrong end of the law, the constitution itself should be amended in that they preserve their naturality. In that I mean, we should be able to attend school with our locks and our facial features, our facial hair. We should be able to go serve time if you've been found in you deemed guilty, but still you keep your locks and your facial hair. We should be able to gain reasonable employment in those sectors of the public without being judged for the way we preserve our naturals. And in that, we can actually help to teach others that may not have found the benefit in keeping your naturality as the way the Almighty bestowed it upon different individuals. And then the third point was to choose a general secretariat for the House of Rastafari East Africa Uganda Foundation, and also enact commence on the process of gaining membership. As right now, the organization is now registered. So this was the reason we went forward and decided to keep the conference on the 134th Earthlight of Him Imperial Majesty.
Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. And
Give thanks, Majesty.
we are here, the Lion Voice Network, to help to strengthen the item
Yeah, man.
on the journey, because you're moving in the right direction. I know the item are in the process of establishing a bank account.
Yes, sir.
And when it's ready, we're gonna ask the item to come forward, and we're gonna ask the global family to send some strength for the brethren them, help us to launch out our Uganda Rastafari community. And again, we are challenging the item to come up with a development plan
Right.
based around food and water security, productivity. I'm bringing up this image again for the ones them to see the different models. These are all different models, but the concept,
Yeah.
the concept is of having a sustainable community. Because one of the things that we have realized is that we chant repatriation, but we have never really taken the time to stop and consider integration. What does integration look like? And that sustainability,
That's a point.
So this is the challenge that we are facing. And one of the other things that we realize is that we have to have economics. Poverty is not a banner of righteousness. Sometimes we like to associate righteousness with poverty, and
Yeah.
His Majesty never show I that example. He
Like
show
a
us a
bag of
royal,
things.
he show us a royal example. We
Yeah.
cannot be afraid to make money. The
Yeah.
difference is that we don't use that money for vanity. We're gonna use that money to build the community better. You know what I
Yes.
mean? But without the money, what we talking about is an illusion. We can't build
Illusion.
a health center. You can't build a health center without money. You can't build a daycare or a library, a Trueberry, a school. All of these things, we need them, and we cannot build them, and we cannot build them on volunteer work either, because the teacher have to pay they have to buy food for their children. They have to
Listen.
clothes for their children, so it's not realistic. And what we have done so far as Rastafari is try to build everything volunteer, and we have to stop that. So I'm glad that Uganda Rastafari community, and big up the Chasmach Georgis for that spark as well. But I'm glad the Rastafari community in Uganda is coming together to find Rastafari solution to Uganda problems. Now, talk to I about, because you said there's so many Rastafari in Uganda, not all of them have locks. How does, I'm coming to the IRAS Niger, how do Ugandan people see the emperor? How is the vibration for the emperor with the regular people in Uganda? And then also give us the history of Haile Selassie's visit to Uganda. We have these famous pictures with Idi Amin and all of these things. Give us the history. How do the people in Uganda see His Majesty, separate from the Rastafari community? And talk to us about the visit of His Majesty and that importance for Uganda.
Give thanks, my lord. Your Imperial Majesty is very well respected in Uganda, and even for those that you may not, one may think don't actually know anything about the emperor, it's always surprising to find that they hold the emperor in very high esteem. The emperor visited Uganda twice. Those are the official visits, although it is known that the emperor visited Uganda on more occasions than twice. And the first time, it was during Kabaka Mutesa II's reign. The emperor visited Uganda in 1962. I would like to say 62, 63.
64.
64. Give thanks, Raskaya, for the correction.
Okay.
1964. And at that time, Kabaka Mutesa II was the Kabaka of the Kingdom of Buganda. During his visit, we do have what they call the palace grounds. It is called Bulange, and Bulange is the administration part of the Buganda Kingdom, the administration center of the Buganda Kingdom. And then a mile away from the administration center within the palace ground is where you'd find the recreational center, which is called the Lubiri, the recreational center of the palace.
Okay.
Now, during Him Imperial Majesty's visit, as it's a mile stretch, it has a rotary in the middle, and the entourage was taking course towards what they call the Rubaga Cathedral. Him Imperial Majesty and the Kabaka were headed towards the cathedral. And Him Imperial Majesty noticed that the entourage, the leading cars, were going round the rotary. So him advised the Kabaka that a rightful king or ruler or royal monarch should never have to veer to the left or right. They should have to stay forward like an arrow. So him advised the Kabaka he should be the only one that goes in the middle of the rotary and can turn to whichever direction they're turning, but should never have to go around the rotary. So it was decided that a gate was installed for only the Kabaka of the Kingdom of Buganda to go straight through the rotary. Not even the President of Uganda has the authority to go straight through the rotary, only the Kabaka. And also during that same event, Him Imperial Majesty named the Royal Mile Stretch. It's called the Royal Mile Stretch of the Kingdom of Uganda. And him named it the Kabaka loves me, like loves one. So it is called Kabaka and Jagala. And Jagala means they love me, so the Royal Mile is now known as Kabaka and Jagala Road. So which was one of the wonderful elements we know that the Imperial Majesty published right here.
So
also
His Majesty knew the language? How did that happen?
Or translation.
Or translation.
I believe in Imperial Majesty did ask the Kabaka how you pronounce this in your language.
Okay.
And so he was able to say, name that as the road.
Okay.
There was another very significant fulfillment of prophecy that did occur during that 1964 visit to Mengo. Him Imperial Majesty was handed the royal shield and spears of Buganda and was credited upon the title of the commander of the order of the shield and spears of the Kingdom of Buganda. Him was also credited with the title of the order of the protectorate of the source of the Nile. And him.
Hold on a second. I wish my brethren Marty Lava was here. We have one of our commenters who always talk about how His Majesty was inducted in the Order of the Knight of the Garter in England and in Bath, and he uses that to say His Majesty was a vassal. But I want to just use this as an example because a lot of time I don't know all of the different orders His Majesty was inducted into. So it's not a matter of vassalage, it's a respect that the nations are bestowing upon him because he's the highest. So the highest honors of every nation were bestowed, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. So this is the prophecy. There's never been a human being that trod the earth that get this much honors from this many nations bestowed upon them freely, not by force, not by going to conquer, but by conquering the hearts of mankind and humanity. So when we hear about these things, I want us to put it in the right context. Because a lot of time we hear about what happened to His Majesty in Europe, but we don't get this side of the history. So I love how the eye breaking down and that His Majesty was not even trading with the government, but it's the royal house, you know what I mean? That His Majesty
Right.
trading with. He go to the actual authority of the country, of the nation, even though on paper, it's the Ugandan government, but you know what I mean, we know it's the Kabaka who run things. So I love it. Continue, family.
Give thanks, my Lord. So as him was handed the royal python drum, it is called timber. A python is called timber in Luganda, which is the language I speak. Him sat upon the throne of the Kabaka of the kingdom of Buganda during that time, which was Kabaka Mutesa II. And when the Baganda who were in the palace at the time saw it, they wanted to say something, as it is traditionally known that no other one who is not from the kingdom of Buganda, who is not an actual Kabaka, can sit upon the throne. What I could say a little bit about the royalty of our tradition is that a Kabaka has features that can be identified upon their body that are not going to be found upon any other human being. And for them to actually ascend the throne and be crowned as a Kabaka, these features are examined by different kingdom experts who would be able to tell that, yes, that is a rightful ruler or not. So when these people that did want to say something, when they seen the emperor seated upon the throne of the kingdom of Buganda, they did not speak. How do I say this? The gesture they made was as one would put their lips onto their nostril, like, pass your lip, and because you have to swallow whatever it is that you wanted to utter out, you're not going to utter it out. So they did not speak. So that element created a saying within the Baganda, in that they put their lips into their nostrils, not to speak of what they were thinking. In Luganda, they would say it in batadde emimwa mu nnyindo, putting them, you know what I mean? So they didn't say anything, and the event went on as had been arranged, and I was very successful. So him fulfilled the title of the King of Kings by being seated upon the throne of Buganda. Though historically, ones and ones in Buganda will let we know that him was sitting upon the throne of him great ancestors. For we know that the kingdom of Buganda was very linked with the Ethiopia we know as a nation right now. One of the Kabakas that did reign in Buganda, who is called Kabaka Chintu, is known to have come from the kingdom of Gala, which is in present-day Ethiopia. And it is also in Gala, Ethiopia, where Kabaka Chintu, when he was contesting for the throne, did go to seek for warriors and weaponry. So the connection has always been there.
Been there. Yes,
Right.
and it makes sense because Uganda is the source of the White Nile, and Ethiopia is
Thanks,
the
my
source of the
lord. It's
Blue
got the
Nile. So
white
it's
and the yes, the white Nile and the blue Nile. Me love where you carry this, elder. Them two colors are very symbolic in nature.
yes,
The
yes,
blue
yes.
and white.
And let
And
me
the
let me
Nile.
just say, stick a pin 1 second. Let me just say because both of the item give I the title of elder, but I'm not an elder yet. I don't want to claim that because I don't even reach 50 years on the earth. You know what I mean? I'm a mature adult Rastafari. I would say that, but I don't reach elder. I'm no longer a youth. You see the gray in the beard and thing, you know what I mean? I'm no longer a youth, but we don't reach elder status yet. Because I have elders, so I don't want them think I'm trying to go into their place. I'm gonna reach there yet, you know. But continue, Farai. I love it.
Give thanks, elder.
Still,
Um,
still,
I'll,
still elder.
honorably just accept that for, as you see, age is just a number, but
Okay,
a
okay,
one such as a one such as yourself could be over 10,000 years old.
okay. Ancient of days. Give thanks,
Ancient
give thanks. I'll
reincarnate, yeah.
accept. I'll accept for
Mhm.
this reasoning. Go ahead, go ahead.
Um, During His Imperial Majesty's visits to Uganda, it is also recorded him was very fond of General Idi Amin Dada. And at one such visit, um, the international nations had started going against General Idi Amin Dada's progress that he had been establishing in Uganda. And they had sent out an assassin by the names of Carlos the Jackal, who used to live in Sudan. He used to move back and forth Europe and France and Sudan. And him was sent to take out General Idi Amin Dada. It so happened that it was during that very visit when His Imperial Majesty had visited Uganda and was at State House and was able to sight the scope, the glass, the reflection of the telescope on the assassin's weapon. And His Imperial Majesty stared into the telescope of Carlos the Jackal. And Carlos the Jackal had the back of Idi Amin Dada's head in a telescope. When it is recorded, when Carlos the Jackal caught sight of the eyes of the emperor, he withdrew from accomplishing the mission he had been given and never carried out the hit on General Idi Amin Dada. And the general was able to live for, I think, another 3 years before he was overthrown. So that is one other major record we know of the emperor visiting Uganda.
Wow. Was
And
that
our
was
royal,
that testimony recorded by Carlos the Jackal? How do we get that
yes,
testimony?
Carlos the Jackal did record that testimony himself in one of him, I think his books or notes or
Okay.
notebook that he have published out. I don't have it right offhand, but I have read it.
Wow. I love this
Um,
history.
right. Right. And the medals, you was give thanks, Russ. You spoke of the medals. These medals that were bestowed upon various uh, royalties and different individuals in the world are actually of African origin, in that the royalty of Africa uses a lot of spiritual energy and electromagnetism in in judge in deciding who are the rightful royals and the rightful inheritances, and how to preserve them. And the fullness of spirit within Emperor Haile Selassie the First's presence is why Him Imperial Majesty have the most titles bestowed upon him than any individual in world history. For Him Imperial Majesty, Him Imperial Majesty is Osiris. Him Imperial Majesty is Osiris.
Explain.
All right. Royalty in Africa began after the era of the judges, as written. And every traditional kingdom in Africa before, they did have kings and queens and chiefs. They had judges. Here in the region of Uganda, from the kingdom that I hail, they were called Abalamuzi. Abalamuzi is the title given unto the judges, as in the courts of law that we do have now. And as written in scripture is the same way. Before we get in the Old Testament, before we get to the books of Kings 1 and 2, we find judges. And it's just a demonstration to show that the Bible is copied off of African tradition.
Yes.
And not just the Bible, but the Quran too, and the Sanskrit of the Hinduism, and also Buddhism, and every other denomination that there is. So there was judges traditionally, like it's written of Moses, and this is all as it was even in the Kemet time. Now, the first children of those early judges figured it was wise to give those judges higher stature. And that higher stature is what eventually evolved into royalty. Royalty for these judges were people of high meditational powers and high IQ. And they were always in constant commune with the powers of the forces of creation. For the visions that they did manifest into physical reality, those that did look upon these spoke of it and said these beings are of higher power, because it's not an average human that possesses the qualities and the knowledge and the skill they possess. They're of a higher power. And it is recorded. The African communed with forces of creation as one communes as such as this time. So which is why the African has to return to that moment and know that every man is a god, and every female is a goddess, and every man can be a destroyer. Same way every female is a destroyer. But when we break down the name and the title God into the letters, there's 3 letters, my Lord, and my other Lord, Raskaya. It is G-O-D. So the G is for generator, and the O is for operator, and the D is for distributor. So these 3 words is what give energy and vibration in the universe. And if they are applied with the fundamental principle of the universe, which is consciousness, then whatever it is that they are multiplying will multiply, and the universe is ever expanding. So the African have to return to that. Each one is a god, and each one can be a destroyer. Each one is an operator, and each one can also break the circuit, and the operation is off. And each one is a distributor, and they can also decide not to distribute. So royalty evolved out of discernment of higher minds, out of the purity of cleaner hearts and hands. Osiris is the founder of Egyptian civilization. Osiris is the sunrise. Yet Osiris's brother Seti is the sunset. It is a dual form of existence. When we are up and about during the daytime, we are within our higher self, which is the Osiris self of a character. And when we rest in the evenings, we are in our setting self, which is the Seti self of character. So how does Osiris become Him Imperial Majesty the First? Osiris, the founder of Egyptian civilization, took irrigation. Him took architecture. He was able to gather other spiritual beings like Peter to form other forms of beings on earth and beyond. Which is why we know that the 7-band prism, the spectrum, each color is unto a particular force of creation. Ra would have him color bright as the orange sunshine. Seti would have him color of royal settings as the deep purple or the maroon, and so on and so forth. So how Him Imperial Majesty get to be regarded as Osiris of this time is that ancient royalty actually still dwell within Ethiopia, the nation. But Ethiopia was the whole Africa. It was known as the whole Africa. And the nation of India, as we know it right now, was known as Little Ethiopia.
Yes.
Was known as Little Ethiopia. So if
Yes.
that whole region is known as Ethiopia, that later developed into kingdoms,
Yes.
and the most powerful of all crowned kings that ever existed on earth, who was witnessed by various nations, is Emperor Haile Selassie I, seated upon the throne of Pharaoh Suseneres. Pharaoh Suseneres, who is known as David, and Pharaoh Simon, who is known as Solomon.
Okay.
And these are Kemetic rulers of ancient time. We were then drawn to find out why really do they say that Kemet is the daughter of Ethiopia. And now we studied and found that the same Osiris is known as Kabaka Mukasa here in Buganda. Is known as Kabaka Mukasa, the Lord of the Lord of Lords, and the Lord of the underworld. So we said, well, if he means the Lord of Lords above and also the Lord of the underworld, the story that they tell in Kemet of Seti and Osiris, the two brothers at war with each other, was hidden. The symbolism was hidden. There wasn't no war at each other. It was merely consciousness between the two brothers. How they dwell above and below. How they dwell in the light and in the dark. How they dwell in good time and in the bad.
Aids. Congo man say rise and Shine Ethiopia, rise and shine. We are here live early morning on the East Coast with our Uganda family. It's 7:39 in Washington, D.C. It's 6:49 in Jamaica, in Kingston, Jamaica. I mean, sorry, AM. It's 2 p.m., 2:49 in Uganda time, coming up until 3. So this is our Rise and Shine edition of Lion Talk. We have two representatives of the House of Rastafari of East Africa. The brethren them are embarking on a development plan. Again, I just want to bring up these images. I'm planting some seeds with the item this morning. And I come prepared, so that when the item reads, and I'm going to send the item these iThreads as well, so that the item can also have them presented at the conference, because one of the things again that we want to do is we have to put economics around the livity. How can we still live that pure life but still be making income? You know what I mean? And the way that make the most sense is for us to control food, water, and then on that same land, you can still have a stage, you can still do reggae shows. You have a part of the land where you have the entertainment part, because that's another thing, is that we should be having our own venues as Rastafari for reggae and entertainment as well. But all of these things can be put into a 5-acre, a 10-acre plan, a 20-acre plan, depending how much land the item are looking at. But these things should be mapped out beforehand, and then we can still build it in phases. You know what I mean? As the funds come in, you start with the farm, and then you build up the resources, and then you build the farmers market. You know what I mean? You set up your farmers market, so you have the income. The next thing, you set up the cafe. You know what I mean? You build a cafe where the ones them can. You know what I mean? So you build it in phases. But you're always thinking about generating that resource, because we need to be able to hire people full time. You know what I mean? We don't want to depend on volunteer no more for the family work. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna come to the Ras Kaya. In terms of what does the as a brethren, we're shot out of Tanzania, you're in Uganda now, new home.
Yes.
What does the I want to see, and what do you think that Rastafari could do for Uganda?
Yes, so Ayman, I think there's a reason for Ayman to be here in terms of because I don't want to say, the Rasta family in Uganda, it's like any family in the world, as even from the family level, there's a time when, the sailing is smooth, and there's a time when the family, there's a bit of tension. So I think we have passed through all of that. And my part now for Ayman to be in Uganda, I think I've brought that kind of neutrality, because I'm about unity, So I've tried even to announce a lot about, like, we have to come together, because if we are all under the umbrella of Rastafari, then we have to focus on our similarities than really dwell into our differences, because we are not going nowhere, and we have to accept, as in the terms of humanity, we were not manufactured in the industries whereby we all have to be one, we all have to think the same. You know, we have very different levels of understanding, overstanding, and we have very different perspectives. But also through that diverse, we can have unity. What is our common goal? You know, so would love to see the family in Uganda, the Ras Tafari family in Uganda, stand firm and come together, because this is the first step, coming together instead of going into different groups, you know. So, and also what I can say, we are very united, you know, even though that's why I say it's like any other family, because there's incidences where ones get some problems, you know, like gets maybe arrested, wrongfully arrested, or a brother is sick, or a brother has died, you know, we always come together. That's without no apology, you know. We always come together. We have a brother who is in the hospital now, last Patrick Bavumula, you know. He got a motorcycle accident, but we all come together, and up to now we are still raising some funds for his knee surgery, because they have to open up the whole knee. So I still have a very positive, you know, hopes into the family, because I know no matter, even if we don't really meet most of the time, but when there's a call of a problem, we all come together. So we need to keep on that also in terms of development steps. We have to come together, you know. So because I like the point DI has mentioned, like, you know, we have also to move in terms of trade and making money to put into the community for the better of our community. Because even if we remember His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie, I say, spiritual and material thing need to go hand in hand, you know.
Yes, I.
So you cannot really dash one over the other, you know.
No.
So we have some goals which we need to attain, and in the current situation we live in, money makes most of these things come up.
Yes.
Even if we said we want to farm, you know,
Yes.
to go and till the soil, still there will be some expenses, you know.
Of course.
So yeah, and that's why I like you say, whatever we speak, whatever we hope for us and our future to come, if there's no money involved, then there's nothing, you know. It's not about just, and this is another thing about Africa as a continent, you know. I know we are talking about Rastafari, but as an African, as a continent, we need to stop waiting for miracles.
Yes.
Africa has been kneeling down, praying, wait for miracles. You know, a brother was doing some legal work, and then some people of the church get him, and him now stop doing that hustle. He's spending much time at the church. And so for me, that is a conflict. It's a bit conflict in my mind. Like, how will you want to move economically and spiritually if the hustle you have been doing, you know, like, let's say, sell something on the street, a little thing which was bringing some food at home, you stop it to go to church, and now you see the family starts to have problem, and every one of them look at him as if as his unresponsible father, you know. So, and this is most of the time has happened into this spiritual world, that once we get into that dimension or that frequency, we dash out other things which you are bringing us, what other people say, daily bread, because by the end
Yes.
of the day, you have some people who looked up to you, you know, for day to day. So if really they see like now you get more spiritual, but still you can't provide for them, that is a problem, because we need to start from the family level. You
Yes,
know,
I.
if the family level is firm, you provide for your family, for your youth, and the youth see that, the youth
Yes.
will do that for their youth. But if you can't do that, and this is what, as an Africans, we need really to wake up. You know, the
Yes.
African need now. Yeah, some people can say strong leaders, but it's strong institution. We are talking about sustainable livity now. Those are
Yes.
institutions which it's not only for us; it is for the more generation to come.
To
So this
come.
is what Africa need now. No miracle are going to serve
No.
Africa.
No.
Yes, sir.
And the highest of himself shall establish I and I, you know. So
Yes,
we
sir.
see that the emperor came and he built Africa practical, you know what I mean?
Practical.
Even though Ethiopia
Emperor,
yes, because remember Ethiopia is a
emperor,
concept, you know. Yes.
emperor, as he has been traveling, because as we know, His Imperial Majesty he has been a very well traveled emperor, you
Yes.
know, and whatever he would go, he would see and look in terms of technology, in terms of education, in terms of what this society here are doing to empower their people. And when he comes back, he would always implement those things. And he would always send people from Ethiopia to go and study some skills, some specialty to come and develop Ethiopia. And that's why Ethiopia, since that time of His Imperial Majesty, has been developed further than other countries in Africa by that time, because His Imperial Majesty knew the necessity and
Yes.
the importance of opening up for people to learn and do things practical.
Yes.
So if like we want to improve of our agriculture, he brought tractors.
Yes.
To improve from just a one man with a hoe and, you know, all of these things, you know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, yeah, it's into more practical. Africa we need to get into more practical session right now. And
Yes.
that will not take us really long to see the fruits, because it's
No.
practical. It works.
It's practical. It works. And then, as I say, if the item come up with the budget, you know,
Yes,
you can get help internationally from the Rastafari family. There are ones
Yes.
in the West that are willing to invest in
Yes,
projects.
I.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
I.
So, and that's how we should be using the dollar and the
Yes,
pound
I.
and all of these things, is investing with our brethren and sistren on the continent where that
Yes,
money is going to stretch further. And we
Yes, I.
translate the fiat currency, which is about to crash, into
Yeah.
tangible assets, resources. And this is the building of Zion that we're talking about over land and sea. And this is
Yes.
why I'm on reaching out to our brethren and sisters in Africa, because the principle is that we don't want to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? We're going to Africa, and I are already in Africa, and it's one
Yes,
eye.
sir.
You know
Yes,
what I mean?
sir.
It's just I. You know what I mean? Manifesting through time and space. So let us move the capital to the ones them. And
Yes,
then
sir.
there's still an accountability, because if you're doing a farm, we want full-time farm workers who are
Yeah.
getting paid a salary, you know, an annual salary to farm that farm, so that we're not a brethren hustling and then he trying to go to the farm in the evening, or he trying to go to the farm in the morning. No, we don't want that. We
Yeah,
want a
true.
brethren who have him full salary. He is a farmer. As a
Yes.
matter of fact, we want to work with someone who's already farming, and we
Yeah.
give them a budget, and this is what we want for the community, and we start there. So
Yeah.
when we talk about a development plan at this conference, I'm
Yes.
challenging the IDEM to establish a committee that can create this development plan with a budget and the staff requirements. So we build this Islaful immunity piece by piece. Every African country, just like how you have a Chinatown anywhere you go on the earth, we should have a Rastafari eco village community everywhere on every African country, and every district should have its own Rastafari eco village, because now we are talking about where we live, where we work, because you could still have a architectural firm that's set up, on the land. You could still have a law office. It doesn't have to just be agriculture, but agriculture is the base.
Yeah.
Because we have to feed ourselves and we have to feed our community. And we should also be providing employment for Ugandan youth.
Yes.
So part of the plan is it can't just be for I and I as Rastafari. Part of it, and this is where the integration come in, part of it, the public relation, because His Majesty is always for the people. Rastafari is always for the people. That's why the people love I and I so much, because we don't just, we stand for the liberation of all Black people from colonialism, transatlantic slave trade, these things. So I really looking forward to get a full report from the IDEM after this conference. We're going to have the IDEM come forward again and to give us a report about what was decided. And then after that now, when the IDEM have the bank account, we'll bring the IDEM forward and we'll ask the Lion Pride to make some attribution that can help to provide some seed capital, at least for the administration, because you should have someone employed who is a full-time secretary who can manage the affairs of and I'm not saying this to say that just the item look to outside of Uganda for the strength, but we just, because the items still have to find the funding, whether or not anybody internationally give a dollar. But what I'm saying is that we will use this platform to assist the item for those who see, because we have brethren and sisters globally who will want to assist the item or invest with the item. So we will provide that visibility, as Rastafari independent, non-aligned media, so that the item can have that strength. So if it's not there locally, because the exchange rate is very drastic in Uganda too. You can get a lot for your money, your pound, your dollar. I can tell the item that. So working together, we should be able to put together a project very quickly. You know what I mean? Even I would be willing to give us strength to what the item doing, So, but it has to be based around agriculture, because a great food shortage is coming globally. They just cut off the Red Sea. So now the Straits of Hormuz and the Red Sea are cut. So that's 30% of the global fuel supply, the diesel, all of that. So everything about for does crash. The global supply chain about for hit a wall, because diesel, every truck, every tractor on earth, every boat, every ship run off of diesel. So when the price of diesel skyrocket, that means everything you buy is going to increase.
It's going to go up.
Whether you're in Africa, Asia, the whole world is going to feel this, because they're crashing the system to bring in this new system, the 2030 plan. So I and I have to prepare, just like the ones that are preparing for war. I and I have to prepare for war. And war is won through logistics. And number one logistics is food and water. So I and I have to, wherever we are as Rastafari, be able to feed ourselves and have clean water supply. So that land, how much acres of land were the item thinking to purchase?
For now, we were planning about acquiring 5 acres.
5 acres, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Also,
Yes.
I will send the website for the Kazi project.
Yes,
Which is, yeah, I know about the Kazi project in Ghana.
I heard it. Elder DJ's Match told me sometime.
Okay, I will send the website. The item
Yes, sir.
can check that. That's Habisha. I'm a board member of Habisha as well. My brethren, Bingi Shah, Naya Bingi brethren, is the executive director. That's a 5-acre campus, also fully, farm, organic
Yeah.
farm, fully solar, off the grid. 'Cause everything that we build as well, the principle has to be off the grid, because
Off grid, yeah.
if the grid collapse, the government
Yeah.
thing collapse. Like right now with the diesel, everything collapsing. We don't want
Yeah.
to, shut down. You know what I mean? So we have to prepare for this Armageddon properly.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I really look forward to working with the item. It's 8 o'clock, so I do have to prepare to go to work. I work full time.
Yeah.
But voice is I and I passion. We're building it from the ground, same
Yeah,
way.
man. Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So big up everyone watching live, all of our monthly subscribers, everybody. This is Lion Talk Rise. You know what I mean? We're rising and shining. So we might do more of these. I see we had a good turnout this morning. So touching base with our Africa family. Give us your final word sound, Raskaya, and then we'll seal up with the Ras Niger. Give us your final word sound to the global Rastafari family, and any final sounds about the conference. And if I have anything to promote personally as well, feel free.
Give thanks, my Lord. Give thanks, Raskaya. It was a great opportunity. About the conference, I really appeal to each one to reach out to another one so we can all come out together as one for the conference on Thursday. That's at 12 midday, and it will be running till 4 p.m. Please show up in numbers. Let we reason, and we restore that spiritual bond that Rasta do carry, which is a very powerful energy in the universe. For the land, I did want to make an addition in that in Uganda there is a lot of available land, and even different individuals within the community do have access to available land to sell, and there's also land that can be farmed. We do have family land, farmland, which is in Masaka, about 17 acres, and we're in the process of trying to find how we can really make it a profitable venture. And I would be willing to speak with Iron family on how to have the land be developed by IDOR, which is an organization I was introduced to by Elder Dijazma. A blessing. I introduced I to Ras Kwasi too. So it's a blessing. So the land is available. Uganda has a lot of land. Those ones in the Western diaspora, in the Caribbean, in America, and in Europe, you should look out to possessing a slice of Mount Zion. You can get an acre for something you would never imagine paying for, which is probably in your pocket right now, right here in Uganda. And once you own your property, how you develop it is according to your will. But that's the number one source of wealth: land ownership, individual land ownership. Even before going into communal land ownership, one should be looking towards owning a property individually because the availability is here. And
Yes, I agree. I wanted to show the item, the Kazi project. So this is Ghana. Freco Ando Sustainability Institute. So this is an example of land development from a Pan-African perspective. And this was during a festival that we have an annual festival with the local community. So this is also a model of integration, effective integration in addition to just building a space, but also making sure that that community relation, the community, feels good and has some ownership over it. You know what I mean? So these are the models that exist. Again, this is Ghana, West Africa. The Freco Ando Sustainability Institute. It's a training and research institute, but it can be adapted in terms of the model that we create and all of these things are sustainable. So I just wanted to show the item a little sip of what the possibility with land development is, and I tell the item it's a good vibes, and there's a great opportunity because of the rate of exchange in Uganda for the item to get funding to do projects and things there, and strategically, if there are so many Rastafari in the country, this is an opportunity, you know what I mean? Like I said, anywhere we're farming, you can do tours. People want to come and see what Rastafari is doing, you know? And you paint up the place red, gold, and green. You make it attractive. You know, you bubble in a pot. They can come and see the organic, the this, the that. You put it on social media. You have a business. So the farm is not just the farm. You know, the farm is also eco tourism and indigenous tourism, because other Africans in Uganda would still be interested in I&I, not just people coming from outside. You know, regular Ugandans would want to come to the Rastafari farm. So these things are part of it. Raskaya, as the media and communication officer for the House of Rastafari East Africa, we're going to give the final sound to just give us a seal up. And this is part one. After the conference, we're going to come forward with the brethren them to get the report and to continue on this journey. This is a history. First time Lion Voice Network linking with our Uganda family. We're going to be bringing forward our Kenya Society, Rastafari Society of Kenya. They lost a big case. The court ruled against them. We're going to have them forward to give a report. We're just working on the time. Wednesday evening, we have a special guest coming on the eve of His Majesty Earthstrong. On His Majesty Earthstrong, we have a special episode with Ras Abba Yahuda, brethren doing some powerful work, wrote the book about Nazarite and Rastafari, all of those things. And then Saturday, we have the Reading Ras on the Front Line, Ras Sekou Tafari. Sunday, we're reasoning with Brother Carl, Mama Valerie. So we have a full packed schedule for the birth of His Majesty coming up. So make sure you stay tuned, set your notification. Lion Voice, we are preparing for this Armageddon by bringing the item cutting edge Rastafari and Pan-African content. Also, we're fresh off of the Ethiopian World Federation convention, pre-convention. We had a chance to sit down with Dr. Umar Johnson. We have that exclusive interview that's going to drop in August, so stay tuned for that as well. We're going to drop it for the Lion Pride on Patreon first. Dr. Umar Johnson, from a Rastafari perspective, I didn't know how much connection the brethren had with Rastafari family, but we talk about it. And we have a lot more big interviews, big things happening. So make sure you become a monthly subscriber to the Lion Voice Network. Help us to build Rastafari independent non-aligned media. Also, support the other media operations. We have Bongo Jerry coming forward, our collaboration with iYard Radio, Rastafari TV, you have Ija Star, you have Priest Isaac, you have so many other Rastafari media platforms. Make sure you support them. Find the ones that you like. Even if you don't like find somebody else you like and support them. Nobody's coming to save us, and we must fund our own liberation, family. That is just the reality. So, Raskaya, give us your final word sound for the global Rastafari family.
Yes, sir, family. It was a great honor, to have this reasoning. And I know, as you said, this is the first time. I'm sure we are going to come back. And it's really nice when the family, we come together and we reason up, because sometimes we find out what is your problem, it is my problem too. So, but once we discuss about it, we always come to find a solution. So I give thanks for the whole family all over the world. And also, we are looking forward for this conference. And for Rastas who are in Uganda, please, if you have some time, please attend, because that day is a great day. It's a 134th, elation of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie. And globally, I know it is going to be commemorated. So please, family, let's use this day to come together, in any different level, not only as a Rasta family, but even as into your family level, find some time with your youth, find some time with them. If you have some baby mamas, you don't live with them, find some time when, come together and, just make that family, because that's very crucial. We need it as a continent. We don't need pieces. Yes, sir.
Give thanks, royalty. So there you have it, family. Uganda Rastafari family is here. We are building piece by piece, brick by brick. We are going to continue to bring our African voices along with our diaspora, our livaspora voices, because we are one and we are confident in the victory of good over evil. And we are here to let the people know that with us coming together, you can break a finger, but you see the fist is power. You know what I mean? So now is the time for us to manifest that divine power of the movement. People know that strength to the word sound, but we now have to manifest the power, you know what I mean? And the power is going to be manifested through that economic development, and I being able to implement the concepts that we have in our head that are so airy and full, that make us the joy of the world. Now we have to manifest that joy into physical things that the youth them can touch and see, you know what I mean? So give thanks to everyone watching live. Big up yourself. We will return Wednesday evening for the eve. We're going to probably have opportunity for ones to just come in and block us on what's happening in their region on the eve as well. We'll have a special guest as well. So big up on yourself, and remember that the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is
Lion Voice.
Haile Selassie the first.
The time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Shekinah Bendigo. They had no fear at all. It was in my star, it was God, let him be praised. In my star, it was God, let him be praised.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use a yet an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the Lion's Voice.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega, representing for all lions and lionesses. With the Lion's Voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the Lion's Voice, Rastafari.
Yeah, David Trent of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the Lion Voice, because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Oh, yeah, the Lion's Voice. Raw.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.